There's this funny thing that happens when you get out into nature. You go out into nature, say a national park, and you start realizing things. Didn't someone declare 2016 as the year of realizing things? I think it was Kylie Jenner. Well, I guess 10 years later, here's me, and it's my year of realizing things. Because I went out into nature, Zion National Park to be precise, and I realized something. Information isn't always a good thing. Ignorance is bliss is a cliche, yeah, but it's a cliche for a reason. In this age of information overload, I'm starting to realize that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is to stay ignorant. Let novel experiences surprise you. This is me realizing that in real time, hiking the famed Narrows in Zion in the morning before work.
It's funny because there's certain things that I like to research like really extensively. Like I'm a good Googler. I love research. So like if I'm gonna buy like a new camera or something, I will be doing all the research. I go in these like rabbit holes late at night. It's a problem. But I found that for experiences, like this hike, this trip as a whole, or even like restaurants and stuff, I don't like researching that much. Because I feel like with the internet nowadays, like there's so much that you can see online that it almost ruins the experience when you actually get there, because you're like, oh, I've already seen this before. Or you already have this like preconceived notion of what to expect when you get there. And like obviously you want to expect certain things. Like I need to know that the flash floods are possible here and stuff. But I didn't really look up any pictures or anything of the Narrows because like I want to experience this for myself. And I don't know, I think that's the way to do it with how, I don't know the words, but like, if you look up things and you look it up too much, you're gonna end up just getting there and being like, oh, I already saw this, or oh, this is not what I was expecting based on like their Reddit reviews or whatever. So I don't know, I just encourage people to not do too much research into like exactly what they're going to experience, because I think it kind of takes away a little bit of the magic. Like, I don't know, look at this view.
And I know, this sounds kind of funny coming from me. I'm a software engineer, a literal steward of bits of information, and someone who also prides herself on being good at Googling. My friends frequently ask me to find them the best blank or give them recs for blank, because while I may not know it off the top of my head, I will do a research deep dive for you to find it. It's something I genuinely enjoy doing, too. But on that hike through the Narrows, I made the distinction between researching for actionable information, what to buy, how to do something, versus researching just to know. And the researching I'm referring to here is via the internet, via a screen. Because what I realized while I was hiking is that experiencing doesn't only come from the literal act of doing it, of being there. Watching it via a screen also counts as experiencing something. And if you've already experienced something virtually, when you go to do it in real life, it's no longer new, it's no longer novel. You've seen it before, in a way. You might have heard of the Paris effect, how Americans can genuinely experience a sort of depression when they get to Paris because they've seen so much about it through various medias that when they get there, it sort of pales in comparison because they've already seen it. How sad is that? We can't let such a lackluster representation of something, a literal glass screen, pixels behind it, ruin our actual experiences in actual real life. Bringing that back to Zion, if I had looked up videos of people hiking the Narrows, sure, I would have known how they experienced it, but it would no longer be a novel experience for me when I physically actually did it. I would have not witnessed it in person, but I would have already witnessed it through a screen. And no matter how cool in real life it ended up being, had I gone in with a certain framing of it from another person's perspective, I would have fundamentally experienced it differently. Not just because I had already had expectations for how it should look, which landmarks I should go to, how deep or cold the water may be. but also because it literally no longer would be novel for me. I keep mentioning novel, so let me explain that a bit. Not a book, novel as in new. New experiences, to be specific. My goal for 2025 actually was to have more novel experiences. I wanted this because I wanted to slow down time. I felt like college had gone by so slowly that one quarter junior year felt like a lifetime, but that my 20s seemed to be flying by in comparison. I wanted to slow that down, and I found out you could. It sounds like magic, but it's actually science, as it usually is. We actually literally encode memories differently when something is new. It's neuroscience. When you experience this novel thing, your brain encodes far more detail. The hippocampus actually works harder, laying down richer, denser memory traces. So then when you look back on that experience, all the encoded detail makes it feel longer, because your brain is essentially using density as a proxy for time. So if you're laying down more memory in the moment, that's denser to look back on, and then that feels longer. There's actually a phenomenon called the holiday paradox, where a 2-week vacation in a new place might feel super short in the moment, but when you look back on it, it feels like it was forever, whereas that same 2 weeks spent at home would almost be not memorable at all. There's also an aspect of dopamine at play. Novelty triggers a dopamine response, and this heightens your attention and sharpens encoding. So you're essentially telling your brain that this matters, you should pay attention to this. More attention means more memories means a longer perceived time, so you slow down time essentially. So by opening yourself up to more novel experiences, and I'm gonna sound super corny when I say this, but you literally will experience a more meaningful life, one that gets to be lived in the moment. And I don't know about you, but that's something I'm gunning for with every decision that I make. So how do we actualize this? We create novelty by accepting ignorance. If you want to try out a new coffee shop, don't watch the TikTok reviews on it, just go. Decide for yourself if the latte is worth it. Order the coffee you actually want, not the menu item that's trending. Same with a restaurant, a bar, just skip the Yelp reviews. Try it out for yourself. Let yourself form your own opinions. And you may be saying, in this economy? And I get that. You don't want to spend your hard-earned money on something you may not like. You'd rather go into it knowing you'll be spending well. And while I'm tempted to argue that it's still worth it to experience disliking something on your own terms, and that you're not guaranteed to like something even if Yelp does, I'll refrain and instead argue that this doesn't really have to involve money at all. Just let yourself be surprised by life every once in a while. I experienced this on a hike, as you saw. While this one happened to be a national park, which does incur fees, nature generally is free. If you like hiking, pull one up on All Trails and instead of reading all the reviews, plug in the coordinates and go. Walk your dog in a new part of the neighborhood. Drop into that free yoga class in the park one day without stalking the organizer's Instagram first. We've become too overly prepared, and I think it's ruining something fundamental about the human experience. This is me attempting to put my finger on that, and I'm not sure I've succeeded, but I hope if you take just one thing from this, it's that you really can actually slow down time just by being a little bit ignorant.
I didn't buy the shoe spikes. I didn't know I needed them. This is how I'm going down. It's pretty fun. Whew, yeah, it's icy.
That's all for now. Bye.